Basically, most generator systems have battery chargers that charge up the batteries for the system. On these battery chargers, the typical charger that we install on these, you'll have an AC on button, an equalized button, a low DC power, and a high DC power. And what these do is they basically monitor the battery, the status of the battery. And when you go through a crank cycle on these batteries, what will happen is you'll dip the battery voltage down a little bit. These will go into a boost or an equalizing charge. And what will happen is the yellow equalizing light will come on. That'll boost the batteries back up to the operating level so they can do another crank cycle on the engines. Also with this, for maintenance on the batteries themselves, whenever you go to disconnect a battery or remove the DC power from the battery, you always need to turn the power to these chargers off. By doing that, all these chargers have a lighted pilot switch that sit right beside them. When you turn that lighted pilot switch off, it kills the power to this. Now it's safe to unhook the batteries and do your maintenance on your batteries that you have to. If you forget to turn the power off and you remove those power leads off the battery, with the power still on, you can cause a fault inside here and short out the circuit boards in here. So you always want to make sure that you turn the power off to these when you're doing maintenance on the batteries. There's also a protective relay switch in here. This is an inner protection for the DC side circuit on this. If a short gets into the system, it can trip this. This is just a push button reset. All you do is, if it's popped out, all you do is push it, it'll reset that back on, should see it come back up. On it, there's also a display across here. One gives you the status of your DC voltage on your batteries. The other one's how many amps are going in it while it's charging. When we have it on, you'll see on an equalizing charge, it'll usually be high. It'll be up close to 15 amps, between 10 and 15 amps when it's doing an equalizing charge. As it comes down and the battery voltage gets back up to normal, you'll see that drop down below 5. So in normal operating range for this is when the equalizing charge is done and it's sitting on a trickle charge, it'll be sitting between usually 3 and 5 amp output to the batteries.